lockdown, not a lockdown, but a curfew from 10 p.m. and to 5 a.m. So maybe that was another reaction to this news. It wasn't that bad as we only saw it decline 0.5%, but it's slowing down. It's most of the day it was flat, as you can see, just flat. Then before it closed around during power hour, we saw a really big decline in the sales of the big indexes. So what can you expect for next week? As we saw this go down, we may expect another red sell-off next week, as most of the indicators show us that. As also we were flat during this whole week most of the time. We saw Peloton fly. We saw all the stay-at-home stocks fly, such as Peloton and Zoom. Zoom went up all the way to 450 from 390 lows. That's about a 10% increase. Not only that, but Peloton also flew again, went up 5%, as we saw curfews in the big states, and maybe Toronto also going into curfew and lockdown, and we may also expect new lockdowns and new restrictions coming up for other states as COVID cases rise. During this whole week, we saw Peloton fly up 14% since highs. I mean, we saw it go down almost about 25% since highs on October 15th. Then on that low, we saw it fly about 11% from November 9th as more news came in. So also, what can we expect? I'm going to hedge with SPY puts for next week, as most of the week was just really weird. Especially as we were just like, we saw a big red day on 19th, sell off, big sell off on the 19th, but right before it closed. And most of the time, this whole week was about just barely any movement at all. We barely saw an incline. We saw a decrease of 0.77% in the S&P 500, so mostly flat. I mean, people, I think that they're just expecting such a big drop. I mean, we saw 2 green days and 3 red days. So S&P only declined by a little bit. Nasdaq went up 25%, probably being held up by Peloton and Zoom on this news. S&P 500 probably held up by Tesla, as we saw it join the S&P 500 this week, and Dow Jones $216 decrease, 0.73%. So I think we see a big red day the following week as more restrictions come into play. So first stock for the week, we have Jumia Technologies. We saw about a 67% run up on this stock this week. We saw it cool down on Friday. We saw a big sell off during midday, probably around 12 p.m. But it went up by a lot. Oh, my bad. Bro, I hate this shit, bro. Oh my god. Look at this, man. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright. Now, so first stock of the week, we have Jumia Technologies. We saw about a 65% run up on this stock a week after Citron put a price target of $100 on Jumia. It remained positive, as you can see here. We saw also a short-term price target of $40 on this stock, so it ran up from about $15 on the start of this week to almost a new high of $25.79, as you can see here. So what can we expect from this? We saw a huge run up, huge gap ups about every single day. Just straight run ups. Then we saw it cool down on Friday here. Big red candle after a huge run up. RSI cooled off. It was overbought for a moment, then it cooled off. So what can we expect? As there was a price target of $40 amounted to this stock, and also since we hit a new high and it cooled off on Friday, I think that after this cool down we keep on running. So here's what I expect from next week on this stock. Either we cool down a little bit more, and then we run back up, or we just continue running up throughout the week. So let's look at the technicals here. It was running off from the moving average really far off, as you can see here. It was really moving. So I was looking, I did the run up, and then after it hit that 70 RSI, it started to drop off a little bit. But here's the thing. It finally hit that moving average, as you can see here. So that's a really good sign. So I'm looking to get into this stock at about a $22, $24 range, probably around 23. As RSI has cooled off from overbought. It is still overbought a bit, but I think that FOMO will get to people, and also that our average, the average volume for the stock is about 15 million, I'm sorry, and we have almost 30 million trades a day. I think that volume just keeps on running like this. Also, I think we see $30 next week. Maybe a cool off on Monday or Tuesday, and then we keep on running as RSI cools off. So that's my first stock of the week. Next we have Henrik Fisker coming in with the Ocean. So what can we expect here? So it has been trading around the $16 to $18 range. I mean, getting into channels here, just keeping it plain and simple. Moving average is kind of simple here, kind of oversold a bit. If we reach about 30 RSI, I think that would probably be a good buy. So what can we expect here? So here we see a gap up from about $15 to $17. So I think that as soon as we fill that gap up at around $15, I think that is the best time to get in, as it had already filled the gap, and we have a lot of people buying into the stock. As we see here, we saw a huge run up from almost $9 of the lows all the way to $18. That's about 100%. So here we see that moving average just go parabolic, and then staying in within the channels. Are also RSI looking really well, volume looking really well in this stock as well. So I think that we have no reason to panic here, as it went down 4%, but that's normal. That's a great. I mean, we only get things for cheaper. So I think as soon as we hit that gap at about $15 to $17, I'll probably get some calls at around $15, or get some shares around $15, and I think that we ride it back up. So that is my opinion on our Fisker stock, and let's get into the next stock, guys. Now our third stock of the week is Alibaba. So here's my opinion on this stock. I think that we saw an overreaction from Alibaba having a big pressure from not being able to release their Ant Group IPO on the New York Stock Exchange because of the Chinese regulations. So we have a gap to fill here, right? Big gap at around what, $292 and $262, $270. Let's put it that. Right now it's trading at around $270, currently overbought. So as we see that RSI cool down, I think that is the best time to grab some shares and fill that gap. We stick to this moving average. We are above our moving average. As soon as we hit that moving average here, I think that is the best time to buy our stock. As soon as RSI hits around $30-$40, as soon as that is the best possible way. Grab some calls at around 200 280 strike price. I love this stock. I love the company. I love the background. Basically the Amazon of China. I mean, we saw their sales literally go parabolic one day. I mean, it is insane how many sales they do. So I think that as soon as we hit that $30 to $40 dollar line, that is the best time to get in. I think we see a bottom here at around 252. That is the least we will get. So as soon, probably around the best time to buy is 200, 260, 265. And yeah, I mean, I think this is a great company. We see our moving averages staying quite precisely close to our numbers. Gap to fill here. I think as soon as we fill that gap, we fly through resistance, and we keep on flying from there. I mean, I'll probably get the calls from maybe about a month out, and maybe 200-300% on those calls if we hit our new highs again. So that is all for this week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this. I think that we have a great week ahead of us for these stocks. the market kind of weird right now, but I think that if we don't get as many lockdowns, that it will keep going up. So let's just watch out for the next week, guys. Let's also pay attention to that stay home stocks like I included in the video. Peloton, Zoom, maybe Amazon, um, any e-commerce, anything like that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great week. Let's get rich, guys.